Yo, what's happening? How are you, everyone? It is Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Yes, it's Wednesday. All the days are kind of just blending together, but it is Wednesday, March 25th, 2020. Hope everyone is doing well. This is day, I don't know, day 8 of the ESPN MMA IG live train. We started this trend. Never forget who started it. Try not to sit as close to the camera these days because all of you got mad at me yesterday for sitting so close. Yesterday we had Helwani on Jacek, James Krause, Julian Marquez. Matter of seconds, we're going to be joined by the Motown phenom himself, Mr. Kevin Lee, who told me that he's got a message to get out to the world. And in case you are wondering what's behind me today, that is the skyline of Detroit Rock City. Motown phenom, Detroit Rock City, get it? Oh, and there he is, the Motown phenom himself. Without further ado, I don't need to go into the whole rigmarole. Rolling along. So here he is, Kevin Lee. We last saw him a little over a week ago in Brasilia, and there he is, the man himself, Kevin Lee. How are you, Kevin?
What's up, Ariel? What's going on with you?
Not much. How are you doing?
I can't complain. I'm still living, still out here kicking. So this lockdown shit has got it all confused, but I'm straight.
Where are you right now, Kevin?
I'm in Vegas. Yeah, I came back
Okay,
home.
you're in Vegas, and just curious, I've been asking everyone this. What's the vibe like there?
It's weird, man. It's like, a couple times I rode by the strip. There's no tourists down there. So you used to seeing all the hustle and bustle and all that. But for them to shut down the strip, it just showed like how serious this shit is. There's like a little park right behind my house, and they've like duct taped it all off. They like somebody died there or something. And then every night I've seen security rolling around, making sure nobody's gathered. Like they taking this shit real serious. So I'm keeping my ass in the house.
Good. I hope everyone's taking it seriously at this point. It should be taken seriously. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, it's not really good as far as the way it's positioned, but that's Detroit Rock City behind me.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
All right, just for you, my
All
man.
right.
Just for you.
All right. I appreciate that. You want to always think things through, huh?
Just for you, my
Every.
man. Okay,
All
so
right.
like I said, we haven't seen you for what, 9 or so days. That was the last time we saw you in action, 10 or so days. Just curious,
Yeah.
before we get into everything, we'll get into everything, but I'm curious, just how are you dealing with the loss? Where are you at mentally?
Physically, I'm getting better. Like the first 4 days since I came, I'm used to being kind of sore after a fight, but after this one felt like a little different. I had to have somebody come by and take care of me. And now like I say maybe since Sunday I started feeling a lot better. I don't know. It was a lot of shit going on with that fight. Mentally, I'm fucking disappointed. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was a tough one. I'm pissed off at myself for real. Like I really am.
Pissed off about the performance or something else?
Nah, I'm pissed off about the performance. If anything, like I could take a loss. It's nothing. But for me to not go out there and perform to the level that I know I can, and to the level that I was doing in training, like I mean, I know a lot of people say it and they say, "Oh, that was a great training camp," blah blah blah. It really was. Like that training camp, I put in some serious work in there, up in the snow in Montreal every single fucking day, and I feel like I didn't show that. Like I was going 7 or 8 rounds in training, and it was just something different during the fight. The whole fight week was really weird. Like with them, kind of halfway putting on the event, halfway putting it off. It was just a lot going on, and I felt like that. I didn't show up. That wasn't me out there.
How much did that affect you in the days leading up to it? Like we were in a little bit of contact, but the entire sports world and literally sports world, not just in America, but everything is shutting down beginning Wednesday. And the UFC continues to say this fight is going on, and they did put on the event. But the fact that like all these dominoes were falling and you guys still had to forge on, mentally, did that mess you up at all in the build up to the fight?
Uh, I say it split my focus a little bit, but honestly, like I just didn't approach that fight right. I'm taking full credit for that. Like I didn't approach it like in the most professional way that I could. Like I didn't have a nutritionist with me to kind of monitor me. So the whole time I'm thinking about the weight, like what I'm eating, what I'm putting in my body. I'm thinking about too many things going on at once. And then once that came about too, and it was like, okay, I got to put on a show too on top of it. and you don't even know if you're gonna fight or not, or it was really weird. Like they're asking about tickets and all these different things. And then when they tell us that we're gonna fight in front of nobody, it split my focus a little bit. But honestly, I'm not putting that on nobody else but myself. It was me. I don't know. I didn't approach it right. But I'm gonna learn from it. That's it.
Why didn't you have a nutritionist for this one?
You know what? I mean, the fight before, when I fought in New York, the UFC had Trifecta down there, and they had Tyler Mitten that was working with him. And Tyler Mitten was my nutritionist before, but since he had been working with Trifecta, I assumed that he was at all the events. So honestly, I didn't even reach out to him. I just assumed he was going to be there. And but by the time I actually got there, checked my weight, and saw where we were at, it was like too far, too gone. It's all the way down in Brazil. It took too much to fly him, and I just thought about it way too late. And I kind of the UFC kind of spoiled me with the last weight cut. They provided all my meals, they provided all the water, they provided everything. So when I got down to Brazil and I got there 10 days early, I didn't even know what the fuck to eat while I was down there. I was eating like nuts and I kind of resorted to not eating anything, which is one of the worst things that you can do during a weight cut. But, I did what I had to do, I guess. But I mean, it fucked me up.
When did you start to worry that this was going to be a problem making 156?
I knew on like that Tuesday, like when I checked in with the UFC, I kind of knew. And like I said, I just was way too heavy. And the only resort I had was like not to eat anything. I didn't even know what the fuck to eat down there. I can't speak the language. I can't, it's hard for us to move around. Like, so yeah, I knew right away.
At that point on Tuesday, did you try reaching out to a Tyler Mitten or another nutritionist to have them come, or was it too late?
Nah, it was too late for a nutritionist. I mean, I asked for some advice. I called a couple people and asked a different nutritionist for some advice, but it was too late to try and fly them down and then have a monitor and all that. It would have been it was far too late. And on top of that, we could only have certain number of people at the event in the first place. He wouldn't have been able to watch the fight. I don't know how that would have went down anyway. So it just at the point it was what it was. I told them to reach out to Charles and tell him and his team, like, I'm gonna have trouble making it. I mean, I had all intention on making it, but it was kind of heavy. I ain't gonna lie.
Did you guys talk about a potential catch weight?
I mean, I didn't even offer catch weight to him. I just told him I wasn't gonna make it. Like, I mean, if he would have took catch weight, that would have been cool. But I didn't even, I just told him what it was. It was like, okay, you go ahead and have 20%, I guess. Like, I just kind of bit the bullet.
Wow. So like 24, 48 hours before the fight, what, if anything, are you eating? For the weigh-ins, I should say.
Some pecans, some pistachios, and that was pretty much it, man. Like it was like 3 days like that, damn near, and it was too much too, a little bit. Like it was a little too much. I had a little bit of spinach too. We had like some dry spinach, but that was it.
How close were you to not actually fighting?
That didn't really cross my mind, Like, I mean, I know a lot of shit was going on, but I knew I had to put on a show. Like, either way, that didn't ever cross my mind. Win, lose, or draw. Like, even how it is now, I might have lost a fight, but I feel like I still gained a lot and I still learned a lot. Honestly, like, that fight I think was much bigger than even I kind of see. People recognizing me left and right like crazy now. It's like I think everybody fucking watched that fight. I hate that I performed the way I did, but there was never a question that I was, whether I was or wasn't gonna fight. Even if I had to go out there and lay an egg, I was gonna do it. I signed a contract, so once I signed the contract, it is what it is.
Okay, so there was no thought in your mind that like, oh, this is a serious issue. I can't be next to people. I can't compete. You never thought about pulling out.
Nah.
Okay. How weird was it to compete in an actual empty arena like that? Was that bizarre?
Yeah, it was. The walkout was really weird. And you kind of look around and you see, I fought in the small venues before in the beginning of my career, to where like there's not a lot of people there or whatever. But for the size of the arena and for it to be no one there, that's what kind of made it a little weird. Once we were actually fighting and actually in there, the only thing I could hear was our coaches, and honestly, it kind of felt the same a little bit. I mean, it's a fucking fight. So I wasn't paying attention to nobody else on the outside. I was kind of expecting that Brazilian crowd because I fought down in Brazil before, and I remember how much they can sway the fight. So not having that did kind of it was like a little weird, but honestly, the fight kind of felt the same. Like I think they're gonna start doing that a lot more. I don't know if they're gonna do it in smaller venues like they should, but with everything going so digital, I think it actually makes a lot of sense. They should. You could fight in a yacht in the middle of the ocean or something, or I don't know. They'll think of some crazy shit, but that actually be kind of cool.
So as far as the actual fight goes, like the actual fight itself, what went wrong? What were the lessons you learned? What did you do incorrectly in your opinion?
I didn't listen. I stopped listening. I think the fight was going real good the first 2 rounds. And at the end of the second, I felt like he was breaking. So when I sat down for that third round, I told him, I was like, listen, I'm about to go at him. That wasn't part of the game plan. The game plan was to go 5 rounds. It was to wear him out in the fight. And I felt like that was working. And once the third round started, I just said, fuck it. Fuck the game plan. I threw everything out the window. To be honest with you, I saw the money. And I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. So I started throwing the kitchen sink at him, and I fought from a place of anger almost. And then I stuck my neck out there. And with a guy like him, that can't be done. Like he's too. I mean, everybody at this level is too good. So I should have been more focused. I should have been more cool, calm, and collected. And honestly, I lost my cool. I fought from a place of anger, and it wasn't nothing on nobody else. It wasn't the coaches. They told me everything right. I told them what I was going to do, and went out there and did it.
Why were you angry, though?
I don't know, Ariel. I'm always fucking angry. Now I'm angry at myself, but I don't know, man. I don't know. That's something that's part of the growing in me. I got to figure that part out. I don't know. I'm still young. I'm still trying to figure shit out. So yeah, I don't know. I had an anger in me that whole day. That whole day, it was an anger, and it just came out during the third round.
And veterans would say it's not smart to fight angry, right? Like you want to be calm, cool, and collected, correct?
Yeah, even in every other fight that I've had, that's when always something good happens. Is when you're cool, you're not really expecting it. It's always when you really, really want it, and you're like, oh, I'm about to make this shit happen. And that's what I did. And to be honest with you, I couldn't even tell you when the fight was over. I was like confused. I was confused on what happened. I was confused on where I was at. I just was fighting from a place of I don't know, man. I don't know. I was fighting from a different place that I should have. That's for sure. I didn't train to do that, and that's why I'm so mad at myself for letting that come out.
So it seemed like you were contesting the tap afterwards. Do you concede now that you did in fact tap?
Yeah. I mean, I even apologized to the ref a little bit. I kind of was going off on him. Yeah. I mean, I think I went out for a second. When I rewatch it again, I actually did go limp for a second, and then when he let go is when I came back to and realized what was going on. But I think my body just was, it fucking pissed about it. I should have. It was a lot of things in the fight. Like I should have been more offensive with my jiu-jitsu. I was really prepared for his leg lock game, and I'm real. My jiu-jitsu has been really stepping up, but I didn't feel like I was too offensive with it. I should have been throwing more offense at him instead of just playing defense. I mean, I'm really pissed that he jumped up and tried to kick me in my face a couple times. Like, yeah, take all the martial arts all to the side. This is a fucking fight, and a grown-ass man jumped up and tried to kick me in the face like it was going to work. And that's something that I got to figure out how to stop. He shouldn't even be comfortable trying that shit, but
was he better than you thought he would be now that you've actually been in there with him?
No, it was about what I expected. It was more on me, like it was more on me. It was more the way that I fought, and he was all right. I mean, he was as good as I expected. I knew that we matched up real good. He was fast. He was strong. He was all them things. But so am I. So I thought we matched up real good. I thought it was a real good. We were really evenly matched, and it was gonna be the person that made a mistake that lost, and I stuck my neck out there. And part of the game plan was always never to shoot when we were in the middle, just because we knew how dangerous his guillotine was. And look what the fuck I did.
How much would you say the failed weight cut affected your performance?
Yeah, I think that had a really big part in it. And that's one of the things that Faraz was talking to me about. You know, I got to approach that way more strategic. In training, I was going 7 or 8 rounds, and in that fight, you know, by the end of the second, like the beginning of the third, I was already huffing. So I think that was a lot of my body trying to recover from that weight cut. You know, when I did try and cut like 26 pounds just off of just grit and muscle and not really. I've done it so many times that I honestly I got a little arrogant with it. I was like, oh, it's like it was nothing, you know. But I kind of overlooked the fact that I am pulling out 26 pounds of water out of my body. So that took some recovery from it, and I don't think I gave myself enough time for it.
Speaking, you still there, Kevin? Yeah, you froze up for a second, but you good, right?
Yep.
Speaking of Faraz, are you going to stick with TriStar?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, everything went right. Everything that he told me, yeah, I should have just listened to him more, to be honest. I should have let that be my voice. If you go back and watch the third round, when I sat down in the corner, I told him, and then I tuned out everything that he was saying, everything that my brother was saying. Like, I wasn't hearing none of that shit. But everything that he told me up until that point was all right. For sure, I thought the camp was perfect. And I really can't say enough good shit about it. And it's crazy that I let it down like that, especially at a fight of that magnitude. You know, that was, I think, one of the biggest fights of the year. So, you know, I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I mean? It was on me.
By the way, what was that flight like? It's a long flight from Brasilia to Vegas. What was that like after that performance?
Man, that shit was rough. They had me do that flight 3 times. You know, they had me go down there for one day. In the middle of training camp, just for the little media shit or whatever. I ended up having to do that flight 3 times. It's rough, especially with all this shit going on. All these people, it's just more people panicking than anything, than like the actual logistics of it. It's people going fucking crazy. Me, I don't really bother them. I go by my own, and you know, I don't really. I try and stay my nose out of trouble.
So when we were talking about setting this up, you told me that you had a message that you wanted to get out to the people. I didn't ask you via text message. I wanted to, you know, just hear about it on this platform. So what is that message?
Yeah. Look, I was going to come on here and I was going to scream and I was going to holler about how much I wanted a rematch. I do feel like we should have a rematch. You know, I feel like, especially with the event that we put on, a rematch definitely should be warranted. You know, I think we had 2 more good rounds in there. But then as I sat and I thought about it and I talked to some people close to me, I said I was going to scream and holler. I'm not fighting again until they give me a rematch. Felt like I deserved it. That's what it should have been. You know, they told me originally I wanted to fight in April and fight Islam. And then the next thing I know, they're trying to, you know, they're trying to give him Gregor Gillespie, and, you know, they making all these other moves happen. And in the meantime, I'm sticking my neck out there and doing what I got to be doing. But you know what? I don't even know. I'm not even gonna scream for it. I'm gonna sit back and reassess, and then we'll go from there. It still might be a minute before I fight again. It won't be like 2 or 3 years, like I was saying. It might be a year, something like that. But I'm gonna sit back and reassess. I'm not even gonna get a message like that.
Why a year?
It's just some things I got to get in order, and I need to take my time with it. I think one of the things in this fight is I lost my patience. I lost my patience in even taking the fight in the first place. I mostly just did it for the money, to be honest with you, and that's one of the worst things that you can do. So I think I need to kind of force myself to learn some patience and to really actually get my life in order. I've been fighting back to back for the last like 5 or 6 years, I feel like. So it's about time.
So when you say that, like, part of the lesson is patience and you shouldn't have taken this fight, like, in a perfect world, looking back in hindsight, what should you have done, or what would you have preferred that you do?
I probably should have waited a couple weeks and then tried to fight on that April card still. You know, I still wanted that Islam fight. And that's where my mom was at the whole fucking training camp. Even though I was saying it wasn't, it still was. So, you know, I don't know. I shouldn't have been talked into it. but I can't blame nobody for that but myself. It's me. I'm a little too I'm ambitious than a motherfucker, and I'm a little too much so. Like I got to like I said, I got to learn some patience. So that's what I'm doing.
But the silver lining is, had you waited for that April fight, there's a very good chance you don't get paid and you don't fight, because we don't know if that fight is actually going to happen. So at least you got the fight in and you got the paycheck, right?
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, that was one of the most watched fights of the year. The only messed up thing is I'm gonna end up being way more famous than before I get rich, and that was never part of the game plan. That was never part of the plan. I don't want that. So, I got to take the good with the bad. I learned a lot of lessons through the fight, and I feel like I'm gonna go on a hell of a streak, and I'm gonna come up and surprise a whole lot of people. So I just got to keep putting in the work and keep putting in the time until I get there. It is what it is.
So I just want to be clear. The message that you wanted out was what? That you won't fight until you get a Charles Oliveira rematch?
Yeah, but I can't put that out there.
Now you feel like that's why is that?
You said what?
Why is that? Why can't you put that out there? You don't feel like that's the right message anymore?
Yeah, I just don't. I think it's more about me than it is about fighting him again. So I'm gonna make that happen first. I'm gonna get myself in order first, and then whoever it is, if Charles is still up there by the time I get up there, then fine. But it's not something I'm gonna hang my hat on. I'm telling you, I was gonna say, like, listen, I'll retire unless I get a rematch, but I'm not gonna say that no more. Even though I just said it.
Fair enough. Now, can I make a plea to you, Kevin? Friend to friend, okay? Boy to boy, all right? Brother to brother. Fight
Whatever
at 170, my man. Stop fighting at 155. Why are you doing this to yourself? Fight at 170. You're good at 170. Yeah, the RDA fight ultimately wasn't a win, but you look good early on and you get more comfortable there. Why are you doing this to your body?
Nah, 155 is where it's at. 155.
Why?
It's harder. It is. But if it was easy, everybody would do this shit. So 155 is where it's at for sure. That's just where all the big fights are. That's where you got Khabib and Tony about to fight, and that's where all the really big challenges are. Is at 155. So that's where I started. That's where I'm gonna finish this shit. I don't care. Even if I get, I'm done growing as a man. I'm 27 now, so this is my size, and I can still make that weight. I got, like I said, I got arrogant with it, and I approached it totally wrong. The weight cut. So, now it's about like doing the weight cut over years, not just waiting until the last like 6 weeks and trying to cut 30 something pounds. That is kind of stupid. And it's something that I only kind of learned in hindsight. Sometimes you gotta fuck up to learn it.
I feel you. Well, what do you walk around at?
Shit, right now with this quarantine thing?
Yeah. Well, under normal circumstances.
Normally I'm about like 189, 190.
Wow.
With this quarantine shit, I'm probably like 95, something like that. I'm probably heavy. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been eating.
I feel you, man. I've had pizza like the last 6 nights in a row. It's getting to me, a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sugar. It's all sugar for me. So I ain't doing shit but eating, sitting here playing with the dog, eating some more. Play some Call of Duty, eat again, do it again.
Are you alone there?
Yeah. I mean, I've been in quarantine like for fucking weeks, bro. I mean, I have some people come by, you know what I mean, keep me company if I want to, but hey, I've been like this for forever. This the way to go for me.
And by the way, I'd be remiss if I don't ask you this. I don't know if you are actually looking at the comments, but Dylan Dennis has been incessantly commenting over there, trying to get your attention. And so I was just wondering if you wanted to say something to Dylan. I suspect you didn't read everything that he wrote because he was writing a lot while we were talking, but it seems like he's trying to get your attention.
I do want to make some money in the meantime. I do still want to compete, even though I might not fight. So we might go ahead and make that happen. I told you a little while ago, Ariel, when the options run out, like it's always he's the ace in the bag. So he's still been here, still been watching me. So I might go ahead and make that happen. That'd be easy money. And like I said, I wanted to get more offensive with my jiu-jitsu too. So I don't know. I might throw up some leg locks on the nigga. Like we'll see.
So a little grappling match, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, he still got. Hopefully, he still got the money in the bank. Hopefully, he's still on Connor's payroll or something. He's still, Connor's still being generous with him because I've been had mine stashed away. So I've been took that out in cash and set it to the side just for a rainy day, just for when I get bored. We'll see. This summer gonna be on. So I might do it this summer. I don't know. Once I get bored enough, I might do it.
Well, I feel like we have to have like a good stipulation here. Like something needs to be up for, for the taking. It can't just be like, okay, may the better man win. If it's money, loser, shaves their head. We need something here
I
because
thought it was 100 G's. It's 100 G's.
was it? Okay.
I'm motivated by money. That's the only way he's gonna get me up off this couch. He brought it up first, so it's definitely it's 100 G's, and it's 100 G's of my money too. It's not or his. It's not when they approached with me before, they was like, oh, we'll have somebody sponsor it and all that. No. It's coming straight from the source. I want his money. I want to spend his money when I go to the store. I don't want to spend somebody else's. I want to see it. I want to see his deposit slip. I want to see where he pulled it from, and then that's the only way I'm gonna get up for it. And I want to spend his money. So we might, like I said, we might make that happen. I don't know. I'll wait till I get bored enough.
Okay. And by the way, I don't see him commenting anymore. Where are you at, Dylan? Now that the challenge has been laid down, I don't see you. Probably went and did something else.
He doing what he do. He doing what he do. These trolls out here, Ariel. I don't try and give them too much. We can't give them too much attention, Ariel.
I know. I know.
You give them too much hype. That's what these folks want these days.
Amen. By the way, congratulations to your brother. He's looking good. Had a big win, right?
Yep. Yeah, about to have a kid and all that. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better than me. Shit.
So to be clear, Kevin, you're not retiring. You are going to fight. You may take a break, maybe a year break, figure things out. You're going to stay with TriStar, and you're going to stay at 155. Did I get it all right?
That's the move. You got it.
And if you fight at 155, you'll work with a nutritionist. None of this eating nuts leading up to the fight and all this nuts type of activity.
Definitely that. And like I said, in the meantime, I'm just gonna work. I'm back in Vegas for a couple weeks. I'm splitting time. I'm going back and forth from here to there. I'm gonna do a whole lot of jiu-jitsu too, leading up to this. So I'm just gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep doing what I do. Keep my head down. Keep it pushing.
Do you feel like you're still trying? I mean, we've talked about this several times, but do you still feel like you're trying to find yourself after the passing of your head coach, Robert Falls? Do you still feel like that is a void that you're missing in your life?
No, not no more. Not no more.
Okay.
I think I'm kind of past that at this point. It's just about like trying to control myself now. It ain't even trying to find myself. I think it's trying to control myself. And as soon as I learn some control, it's a wrap. And I mean that in all like senses too. Like I really stay away from social media too. And I kind of made that a big point to do that. And honestly, I thought that it would help. But I'm starting to realize it didn't really help nothing. Like I still be lurking. I still feel the same way about it. You know what I'm saying? Like me just kind of keeping myself off of it didn't really help much. I think it's just me learning to control it, learning to like, stop reading Dylan Dennis's shit. You know what I'm saying? Stop doing shit that I know I shouldn't be doing. So, it's in all aspects of life, not even just in fighting. It's going to help in fighting, but it's everywhere.
Okay, last thing before I let you go, and this has been great. I really appreciate it, Kevin. It's always great to catch up with you, and I love your transparency and how honestly you speak about yourself. So thank you for this. Just curious, because you spoke about them, Tony Khabib, if the fight does happen in a little less than a month, who's your pick and why?
You know what? I was really going with Khabib with it, especially after seeing how he looked versus Dustin Poirier. But now with all this lockdown stuff, I'm leaning back towards Tony winning. Tony's been training like this for years, and I don't think it's really going to affect him at all. Like he always been doing shit like this, going up to Big Bear and kind of bringing his own people around. And Khabib is somebody, he always got 20 people around him. He's always, that's over the limit right there. So especially how during that fight week, I think that might affect him a lot more than it will Tony. I don't think Tony gonna give a fuck. So, sometimes it's not always the best fighter who wins. It's just the guy who's gonna fight the best. So with the training camps being like this, I'm leaning back towards Tony.
Well, that is a great point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Tony is kind of a loner, has his own little thing. Khabib rolls really deep. That's a very astute point on your part, and you would know. I mean, you fought Tony a couple years back, and people forget. I brought this up in my show a couple of weeks ago. You've been calling out Khabib long before it was cool to call out Khabib, before
Yeah.
he was any kind of champion, star, draw in the UFC. You just wanted to fight this guy, and you deserve a lot of credit for that. I think I found dating back to 2016, you've been calling out Khabib. So I think a lot of people need to respect you for doing that. I even think that I criticized you for that back in the day. I was like, why are you calling out this guy? And that's how our whole little thing started. But I'm glad it started when it did, and I'm glad we're on good terms here, Kevin. So I want to wish you the best. Don't feel too down about what happened. Thank you for taking that fight and for entertaining the masses. And be safe out there. My best to you and your family. Hopefully everyone's okay.
Same here. Same here. I appreciate that too. You know, I might have just pulled myself a little further away from that Khabib fight, but I'm gonna get it one day. I swear to you, Ariel. I swear to you. If I got to catch him on the side doing something, I'm gonna get him. But I appreciate it, Ariel.
I love it. If you just want to exit, you just press the X over there and you'll be good to go. Thank you, Kevin. This has been
I'm
great.
out.
The Motown Phenom. He's out representing Detroit Rock City. There it is, the skyline of one of America's great cities. So we had Dylan Dennis in there, but he has gone missing. I saw Paul Felder telling us he's 200 pounds. Yes, I feel you. I feel you, Paul. But of course, some of that might be due to the fact that you had all those donuts after your fight against Dan Hooker. And a pretty great back and forth a couple of days ago between Dan Hooker and Dustin Poirier, who were scheduled to fight May 16th in San Diego. They had a cool back and forth. A lot of guys are doing that. There was a report that Corey Sandhagen and Aljamain Sterling are going to be fighting, and they were both like, yeah, we're not really training these days, so I'm not sure about this report that we're going to be fighting. Saw Chris Weidman there. Hello to you. Saw Brian Kelleher in there. Hello to you as well. Let me get a little glass of water here. Just finished taping Ariel the Bad Guy, which is going to be up in the next couple of days. Chael and I had a great show and actually talked a lot about pro wrestling, WrestleMania coming up in around 10 or so days. We had this amazing back and forth as far as trivia is concerned, wrestling, old school wrestling trivia. We had an amazing back and forth. I don't know if that's going to make air or whatnot, but I was hitting him with the SD Jones. What does SD stand for? Does anyone remember SD Jones from back in the day? SD Jones went up against, who is it now? King Kong Bundy, WrestleMania 1. Who remembers SD Jones versus King Kong Bundy? He lost in about 8 seconds. Who's going to give it to me first? SD Jones. What did SD stand for? SD Jones. SD Jones. Anyone remember this? Anyone remember this? While I have a minute here, ESPN.com/MMA. You know, a lot of people have been talking about Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson and the status of that fight. I know Dana White has said he's 99.9% done as far as securing the location. I'm told that, yes, thank you, special delivery. I'm told that it's a little further away than that. I'm trying to go back up here. But I have a story up there right now on ESPN.com/MMA. And I spoke to a bunch of the fighters. I don't see, someone told me that Malki commented. I'll let Malki jump in here, but I don't see Malki. Malki, if you're there, say hello. Yes, it is special delivery. I didn't see Malki comment there. Maybe I missed it. He ain't got that verified, so it's hard to see. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got that blue check, so it's hard to see. You know what I'm saying, Malki? Where you at? Everyone asking about Darren Till. Darren Till's tomorrow, same time and place, but Darren Till's tomorrow, not today. So I don't know why you guys are confused. Tomorrow, not today. I know all the days are kind of blending into each other, but tomorrow, not today. Anyway, ESPN.com/MMA right now. I have a story up where I spoke to a bunch of the other fighters competing or supposed to be competing at UFC 249. John Vellante, Alex Hernandez, Ben Rothwell. Spoke to Ian Cutelaba, who's in Las Vegas, Andrade's camp, Rose Namajunas' camp. Anyway, a lot of them are actually proceeding. The UFC is in contact with them, asking them for their information, asking them for, the sizing of the cornerman for clothing, passport info, medical info, all this stuff. But none of them know if this fight is going to happen. And I believe that if the fight does happen on international grounds, I really do believe that there is a chance that the rest of the card will be populated with local fighters, sort of like what they were trying to do with that card that didn't come to fruition this past weekend on that tribal land in Oklahoma, because it's going to be very hard to get all these people from all over the world. Yes, Daniel Cormier has the idea of, flying from place to place and picking people up, but I think that's going to be very tough. So that's another big question heading into this. Also, what about USADA drug testing? People aren't allowing people to come into their house, and USADA doesn't want people to come into the house. Has that just put on pause? What about that? So many questions right now as we navigate these very different waters. But anyway, I spoke to Ion Cutelaba, and he has a crazy story. Last Monday, the Hulk was in Moldova, finds out that the local airport is shutting down on Tuesday. So this is last Monday, finds out the local airport is shutting down on Tuesday, and gets on a plane that day to Las Vegas to go finish up his training camp in Las Vegas at the PI. He's scheduled to fight Magomed Ankalaev, right? And so he flies from Moldova to Las Vegas, gets to Las Vegas, and then all of a sudden finds out that the PI is closed. So now he's in Las Vegas because he figures, all right, it's going to be easier for me to get from Las Vegas to wherever this fight is going to be. At the time, we thought maybe, obviously, the PI, or excuse me, the Apex was a potential option, no longer an option. But Ion Cutelaba left his family in Moldova, is now in Las Vegas, and is just kind of just chilling there. Isn't that amazing? Just kind of just chilling, training in Las Vegas, waiting to see if he's actually going to fight. I see Brian Boom Kelleher. Let's see what he has to say. He's been kind of lurking over the past couple of days, so I figured we'd give him the shot. I asked him last week for some lyrics. Brian Boom Kelleher, where you at? Oh, you're rocking the Jabroni shirt over there?
Boom's in the house.
Whoa.
What's up, Ariel?
This is Boom Senior?
We're taking over the UFC when it comes back. We're making a Boomachino right now.
What is that?
Some French press coffee.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That's it?
Oh my God. We got the whole
Mama
Boom. Mama Boom.
This is amazing.
Oh my God.
Are you all healthy?
This is what it's come to.
I don't live with my parents. I'm just here to visit, say hello.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
best food coming in. Stay
It's our
safe.
secret, Boom.
He's
Nice
still got his
t-shirt.
umbilical cord on. All right.
Nice t-shirt, Boom.
Yeah, man. I'm repping the MMA fighting.
I love it. I have one of those myself.
Hey, thanks for keeping us entertained, man. It's getting boring out here.
I know. What are you doing to pass the time other than watching me?
I'm going for lots of runs. I'm just getting creative, doing workouts around the house and stuff like that. Some pad work and everything. But reading books, watching podcasts. That's about it, man.
Yeah. Are you keeping sane? Are you keeping it mentally healthy up there? Are you trying not your actual hair, the inside of the hair?
Easy, but yeah, mentally I'm keeping sharp. It's rough because you don't know when you might fight next or what's going to happen when this thing all ends, like how fast you'll get, put into a fight. But I'm just trying to stay as sharp as I can until that happens.
Did you have anything in the works before this happened?
No, I'm still waiting on a new deal. It's taking a long time. I don't know what's going on, but I haven't signed a new deal yet. Still a free
Wait,
agent.
your contract was up?
Yeah, that was the last fight on my deal.
No way. Are you going to test the market?
My manager's on, he's looking around and see what's available. And I don't know, in his eyes, I think he's focused on getting me back with the UFC. But I think it's smart to test the market and get the best deal offered and see if they match it,
Of course, yeah. And are you free to do that? Because there's usually like an exclusive negotiation period. And then once that's up, you can go out and test the market. So is that period over yet?
I believe so, because I haven't gotten any offers yet from the UFC as far as I'm concerned. So I believe I'm just a free agent at the moment. But I imagine, they like me. I got the bonus that last fight, and I got to finish. And I saw Dana in the back, and he was happy with it. So I feel like they're going to extend the contract at some point.
Damn, so the pressure was really on in that fight. I mean, you really stepped up to the plate and hit a home run with that one.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. It was in the back of my head, and I was proud about how I handled it. Come fight night, I felt like no pressure, really. I felt like real calm in there. I felt like I knew I was gonna get the job done. But during the fight camp itself, I kind of knew, like, man, my job's on the line in this fight. Like, I got to make this happen. I can't mess up here.
Yeah. And I know that you've been campaigning for that Sean O'Malley fight. What did you think of his performance last month, or actually earlier this month?
Well, I feel like they're giving him favorable matchups so far, which I understand he has that star power, but I think it's time for him to test himself a little bit. I feel like he said I want that Conor McGregor treatment, which I feel like that's kind of saying like, hey, I want to fight guys that I know I could beat until it's time to fight for a title. So that's not a good mindset for the sport. I feel like you should be willing to fight anybody that they offer and not just like, handpick guys because they fit your style well or whatnot. So I'm just trying to call out that fight because it's true. All the hype's on him. And if you beat a guy like that, like you steal all that hype, and I put myself in a good position.
So you'd like, in perfect world, you re-sign with UFC, get a good deal. You want that one to be the first fight.
I'd like to fight O'Malley in Ireland. I feel like O'Malley versus Kelleher in Ireland, that'd be sick.
That would be sick. Yes, I like that idea. That's coming up later on this year in August.
Yeah, I don't want to wait till August to fight, but if things don't, hurry up and that's the next one and they want to offer me O'Malley, that'd be a great setup right there.
Now, last week, Brian, you kind of left me hanging. I asked you to spit some bars for us, and then you just kind of like disappeared on me. You totally left me hanging. Do you have anything that you could tell us in the sort of, lyrical form to get us through these tough times? What do you got? I mean, you have now a week to prepare, so I'm assuming you have something.
I don't have a freestyle off the top of my head. I'd have to
Nothing?
go,
What else do you have to do
my
there?
laptop and get my writing out and get a beat going.
Okay, can I give you like a homework assignment next week? I mean, we're going to be here for a while. Can you come up with some sort of, I mean, it's not really a freestyle if you come up with it, but like some sort of rap on this situation? This is unprecedented times in our life. Yes.
I'll make a quarantine rap. I'll have it ready for next one. I'll be tuning in for sure. So.
All right, fair enough. Be safe out there, my man, all right?
All right, yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, and good luck with the contract. Let me know if you need me to negotiate for you, okay?
You got it. Thanks, man.
All right, thank you. There he is. Boom, there he goes, Brian Kelleher. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think I could promote better than anyone in the sport. I could probably also, negotiate a contract better than anyone in the sport, to be honest. I'm really being honest with all of you out there. If I'm really being honest, I mean, just give me the damn ball, like my man Keyshawn once said. Keyshawn Johnson once said, "Just give me the damn ball." I actually met him a couple of days ago before all this started, and he was lovely. He was really nice. I saw him at the ESPN offices. By the way, you know what I did? Who's next? I don't know. Who's up next? Who's up next? Who do you want to see jump in here? I don't know if any. It's not really up to me at this point. Like I get one guest per show. I can't be doing like 8 guests per live stream because then I'll run out of people to talk to in like, a week. So I can't really be doing that sort of thing. But if anyone wants in, I will hook you up. STFU? What are you talking about? Anyway, listen, I could change the background on these little thingies over here. You see this background? I could change it on my computer. Or actually, it's a TV screen. It's a big TV screen. It's like 72 inches, if I do say so myself. But look, whoops, screwed that up. Should I tell you? Oh, look at that one. Bang. Bret Hart. Woo. The man. The excellence of execution. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. You know it. I just watched part 2 of the, Dark Side of the Ring documentary about Chris Benoit. In fact, later on today, in around 20 minutes, we don't stop here. We don't sleep. I'll be doing a podcast, Helwani Show Pod, with the great John Pollock of postwrestling.com. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about, what else are we going to be talking about? How WWE is actually, we're going to be comparing what WWE is doing and what the UFC is doing and how they're actually forging on and putting on WrestleMania, a 2-day event, tape show, I believe it is. And in the wrestling world, they haven't stopped. AEW is still putting on shows. WWE is still putting on shows. They have not taken any kind of break. It might be a little different now with the tape shows and whatnot, but there's still a ton of content. So I love talking to John. I do the yearly prediction show with him. I'll check in with him, and that podcast will be up later on today. Hopefully TST takes a break from whatever it is that he does at home these days in his studio apartment, his minimalist palace. And then later on this week, we'll have another Ariel and the Bad Guy for you. I hope you watched last week's. It dropped on Friday, so you can go to ESPN Plus to watch that right now. We'll have another one for you either tomorrow or Friday. Not quite sure about when it's coming out just yet. And tomorrow here on the live stream, I'll be joined by Darren Till. I already set that up. He broke the news, not me. So stay tuned for that. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. GMT. By the way, shout out to Travels with Tessa of the ESPN MMA social media team, the real brains behind that operation, for getting me this great setup that I have here. I've got a stand, I've got a light, I got the whole shebang. We rolling here. I haven't been this busy in a while. Doing interviews every day, doing all these shows. We are rolling, and I'm blocking everything out. I'm staying positive. I hope you are as well. I hope you're focused. I hope you're trying to be smart with your family, trying to make the best of this situation. There's a lot of scary things happening. I'm not trying to be oblivious to it. I fully recognize it, but I'm staying home with my kids, with my wife, trying to practice what they call social distancing, trying not to interact with many people, and trying to be smart about this whole situation, as scary as it may be. Who do we have? Last guess before we say goodbye. Could it be? Is he wearing clothes? Oh, he declined. I added New York Rick and he declined. Could you believe that? I added New York Rick as a surprise last guest of the day and he declined? What? What just happened? What just happened? New York Rick declined. Can you believe it? Well, one man's loss is another man's gain, because now in a matter of seconds, we're going to be joined by one of the most prolific managers in the history of mixed martial arts. Will he accept my invitation? Malki, Kawa, come on down. Come on. What is going on?
I'm in my
swimming?
pool, bro. I'm in my pool. Yeah, I'm chilling, bro. So there's nothing better to do. So we're out here.
Wait,
You know.
first of all,
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to drop your phone in the water.
No, I'm not at all. I don't know. I guess it's too close or whatever. Nah.
But you're good?
Oh, yeah.
What are we doing about the
I've been
hair?
doing business from this pool. I've been letting it grow out. I haven't gone to the barber shop or nothing. I haven't left the house.
Good. Practicing
trying
that social
not to get in trouble.
distancing.
Hey, yo, listen. The fans want Bryce Mitchell on.
Yeah,
If
where
I
is
can
he?
get Bryce Mitchell out of the woods, I think we should get him on next.
I'm in. Where is he at?
He's probably in the woods. He's probably playing with squirrels or something. I gotta call him and see what's up. If he answers the phone, I'm gonna try to get him on. Bryce is the man. Bryce will give you some real, ratings.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Malki, because we've been talking about a lot of fighters, the uncertainty from a business perspective, from a managerial perspective. What have these last few weeks been like for you guys at first round management?
Oh, it's been weird. I mean, dude, it's different. Just like it just literally one day to the next, it's kind of like stopped. You know what I mean? Sponsors stopped. Fighters don't have fights. Then their gyms closed, so then they can't even train. And then that's kind of it. And then Dana, coming out with the whole fighting stuff, which, I think is kind of great. If he's able to pull them off in a healthy and safe manner, we're excited to get those fights going too. You know what I mean? So
you have a couple of fighters
on
the 249 card, right? You have Ben Rothwell, you've got Lyman Good, correct?
Yeah. They're telling me, listen, so Dana called me last week, and he was just like, very adamant that everybody was going to get their fights this year, and that everybody come from a money standpoint, with all their money would be made up and everything would be taken care of, and that he was really going to try to push and make these fights happen. And I don't think he was doing it from a like a greedy standpoint of like, I just want to make fights happen and make happen. I just think that, he was honestly just saying, he's like, Mark, I've been doing fights since day one and pushing through since day one, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So for me, it's like, I just want to make these fights happen, and if I can help the guys get fights, then I'm going to do that. So we'll see.
So he called you up personally just to let you know. You didn't call him first or anything like that?
No, he called me. He's like, yo, do me a favor. How many fighters do you represent? I think we're like close to like 60 of them in the UFC now or something like that. So he was like, can you call each and every one of them? Because I've got a lot of phone calls to make and kind of like relay the messages and stuff like that. So that's kind of what we did. I got the team on a conference call, 20 minutes later, and told them all to call their respectable clients that they each work with, and just kind of let them know what was going on and kind of update them real quick on the thing. The other thing too that I don't think Dana gets a lot of credit for. He was like, listen, if there's any circumstances out there that really need attention, just call me and let me know what's up. Like, don't try to do this stuff on your own. He knew that I was helping out some guys myself, and we've had to lend some money out to some fighters, and we've been doing our end as managers to make sure all of our guys are good for the next month or two. And he was like, look, you don't even got to do that. Just like tell me, and then we'll make it work. We'll make it work out. You know what I mean? We'll figure out a way to make it work. So I was kind of like, that was real cool of him. He gave us some sort of like how how do you say, like comfort knowing that, you know what I mean? I mean, the truth is, I don't know what anybody could do when you're quarantined, you can't leave, and, you know, you're stuck in certain places, and, you know what I mean? He's in Vegas. Like, I'm in Miami. Most of my guys are not here. You know what I mean? But that's just kind of like, you know, just good to know that at least you have that opportunity or that option out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and honestly, the last couple of weeks have been a blow to you guys because you just have Tyron, main event London, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, main event in Columbus. Would it be safe to say that those guys probably aren't going to get paid for those fights, but what they're telling you is they're going to make it up to you, they're going to get you back in action whenever this resumes?
So what I'm gathering is here's the way it'll go. So let's say UFC 249 takes place August 18th, right?
April 18th.
I'm sorry, April 18th. I apologize. The sun is a little hot out here in Florida.
No,
it's like
I know.
85 degrees right now. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Anyway, I love doing that to you fucking Canadians. It's the best thing ever. You guys come down to Miami and like ruin our city for like 3 months and stuff. It's weird.
That's true.
Yeah, it's really weird. By the way, just before I get into that, is Bret the Hitman Hart the greatest Canadian athlete ever?
I think and there he is right over there, my guy.
He's
the excellence of execution. Yes.
The excellence of execution. Yeah.
Yes, and shout out to Marlon Vera, who keeps commenting on my nose. Yes, I know it's big, Marlon, all right, and I'm proud of it, okay? You can make a case that he's maybe the most famous Canadian athlete, but I think a lot of people would say Wayne Gretzky at this point.
Nah, dude, man, come on. I mean, yeah, but dude, the Hitman, Wayne Gretzky,
Hitman,
I don't know. I like Hitman, not Hitman, dude. Hitman all day. It's just, he's the man. But anyway, back to the thing. So if UFC 249 takes place April 18th, the way I think it's going to work out, what I'm gathering is, let's say that on that card they had 24 fighters, 12 fights or 11 fights, whatever it might be, 22, 24 fighters that are supposed to show up. If, for example, so Tony and Khabib will be your main event, and they're going to make sure that those two guys get to wherever they got to get to. Say the fight below that, guys start to fall off, then they're going to grab guys from the other cards and start putting them in. So if you were to sit there and say to me, hey, 5 cards or 5 fights on this card are falling off, and Rosenstrike and Ngannou are ready to go, well, then there might be your new co-main event. You follow where I'm coming from? So it just depends, because you also have to remember, the good news is like Rosenstrike is here and he's in Miami since he's trains at ATT, which is closed now. But I mean, he's training here in Florida, and Ngannou's in Vegas, right? So if they wanted to go to Abu Dhabi or wherever they plan on taking this show to, they could fly. But if you had a guy that was supposed to be coming to New York from London or, one of the other countries that might right now at this point have a ban on travel, or we have a ban on them coming into the country, then that's where the issues will pop up, right? And so those people will probably be held off the card, replaced for a future card, and then they'll they'll fill them in first with the fights from the cards that have been postponed. And then because I asked that question specifically, I'm like, hold on, so listen, can we get this fight on or that fight on? And they said, depending on what actually happens with the card, then they'll go from there. So like, if it's true that Dana has a spot that's like 99% done, still he can't book anything until he has it done. So once that fight, like the location is done all the way, then you'll start to see bout agreements go back out for that, and then they'll start to announce, okay, this fight's going on. Now, if everybody on that card is able to show up, then that's going to be the card. So everybody from the postponed cards will still have to wait until, after that. Now, my assumption, and I'm assuming this is what's going to happen, and I forgot to ask Dana this, but this is what I would do if I was them. If you do cards on Saturday and you have an opportunity to put another card on a Friday, then you do fights on Friday night and do fights on a Saturday night in 2 different locations or whatever you have to do, especially with the fact that you got, these bans on like having people in a certain amount of people in the room. So that's probably what's going to end up happening. So you might just see the whole UFC London card moved and become UFC, Tallahassee for all I know, or UFC, what I'm saying, on ESPN, whatever number we're at right now. You know what I mean? And that's kind of, I think, what they're going to end up doing.
Okay. Marlon Vera wants a job. If you've got something for him to do, he said he needs a job. I got nothing for him at this point. I mean, if you want to help me with my children, like getting them to do their homework, I could hook you up. But maybe Malki can hook you up. By the way, one last thing before I let you go. You're a Florida guy. Dan Lambert. He laid down the gauntlet. What's going on there with that ultimatum to the team? I got my work cut out for me. I got my work cut out for me with that one, man. Yeah, dude. I guess Dan got tired of all this shit talking. Wants the peace in his gym. Fucking, Georgie took it as an ultimatum, didn't really like it. But I'll say this. Georgie and Dan have a very special relationship, and they're very, very, very tight. So for Dan to have to do that goes to show how serious this was getting, because Georgie is his favorite fighter of all time. So there's no way. I think the problem is I don't think Georgie thought that it was
at him. Like in other words, I think Georgie thought he was an exception to the rule, and he's not. So Dan, laid the gauntlet down. But I'm gonna work that out, and I'll get Georgie back into ATT sooner rather than later. I just, I gotta get some, let these guys cool down a little bit and then get them back together. But yeah, it's.
Wait, is he out?
True.
Is he out?
I mean, listen, who knows if he's out, but you know how that goes.
He's mad because he laid down the gauntlet. Okay. But he's been
laid down the
reprimanded?
gauntlet, but I got to get them back together. They're not out like that. I'm just saying they're going to get back to – and listen, he laid down the gauntlet, and Georgie, went against it, right? That was kind of what it was. He's pissed off.
Yeah.
Dan's pissed off now. You see what I'm saying? There's no training.
Man.
Everything's closed. When the quarantine is over, I got to sit down and put these guys back together. That's all.
Damn, some real drama down there in South Florida.
No, man,
is that your house?
Man. Yeah, it's my house. What did you think I was, on vacation?
I don't know, man. You got like a hut over there? What's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Man, money never sleeps. All right, your thing froze on us, Malki. I'm giving you 3, 2, 1. You start touting your stuff and it freezes. Come All right, we've been here long enough. Hello to everyone. Cheeto Vera, you're the man. Max Payne Griffin, I saw you as well. Hey guys, come back tomorrow. They're gonna kick us out of here in like a minute or so because we can only go an hour. That's the rule. But come back tomorrow and I'll add you all. I love you. Thank you for watching. Darren till tomorrow. Much more to come. Keep watching our stuff. Keep supporting ESPN MMA and keep staying positive, healthy, sane, and away from people. All right. I love you, Marlon. Keep hope alive. I got a job for you. We'll be in touch. Respect to you all. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.